Barbara Eden finally speaks the truth about Larry Hagman when she is 94. Barbara Eden's full name is Barbara Jean Moorhead, was born on August 23, 1931, in Tucson, Arizona. She is one of the most famous and liked stars in Hollywood, known for her beauty, charm, and ability to act and perform in many different ways. Eden's career has spanned more than 6 decades, from her humble beginnings to her ascension as a television star. This shows her brilliance, determination, and grace. Eden was strong and creative when she was young. Barbara and her mother relocated to San Francisco when her parents divorced when she was a toddler. They lived in modest conditions during the Great Depression. Even though she had money problems, she found happiness and meaning in the arts. She went to the San Francisco Conservatory of Music to learn how to sing, wanting to be a classical vocalist when I grow up. People quickly noticed her natural beauty and compelling stage presence, which led her to enter local beauty contests. This early exposure led to modeling and later, acting. Barbara was a favorite in Hollywood auditions because she was naturally warm and charming. She soon moved on to TV and movie roles in the 1950s. She worked on prominent shows like The Johnny Carson Show and The George Burns and Gracie Allen Show early in her career. These shows helped her improve her comedic timing and screen presence. She was involved in a number of films, such as The Wayward Girl 1957 and Flaming Star 1960, in which she starred with Elvis Presley. Barbara started to create her image as a competent and dependable actress who could easily mix humor, romance, and honesty during this time. Her mix of innocence and sexiness made her stand out from other actresses of her period and made her a rare cinematic star. Barbara Eden got the role that would make her famous and define her career. In 1965, Jeannie is the fun and loving Jeannie from I Dream of Jeannie. Sidney Sheldon's sitcom came out during a great time for fantasy comedy on TV. After the success of Bewitched, Barbara's portrayal of Jeannie, which was fun, dedicated, and endlessly charming, won over fans. There was a lot of humorous tension between her and Larry Hagman, who played astronaut Major Tony Nelson. The pink harem suit, the renowned blink and nod gesture, and her famous "Yes, Master" line all become part of TV history. The show had 5 successful seasons from 1965 to 1970 and has been a worldwide hit in syndication ever since. Barbara Eden continued to show off her acting skills after Jeannie. She was in a lot of TV films, such Harper Valley PTA 1978, which eventually became a TV show with Eden as the main character. She also guest starred on episodes including Dallas, where she got back together with Larry Hagman, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, where she hilariously brought back her Jeannie character for new generations. Eden was just as spectacular on stage as she was on TV. She performed in musicals and plays all around the country, showing that her skills went far beyond TV. Barbara Eden joined the stage again from 2000 to 2004. This time in the national touring production of The Odd Couple, the female version, which wowed theatergoers all over the United States. In this version of Neil Simon's famous comedy, the male characters Felix Anger and Oscar Madison were turned into women. Eden did a great job of playing the picky and neurotic Florence Anger. Her performance showed off her perfect comedic timing and her ability to make a well-known part her own. Rita McKenzie, who played the fun-loving and disorganized Olive Madison, was sitting across from her. The chemistry between the two actresses was electric, bringing people into their world of laughing, friendliness, and the funny mayhem that happened when two people with very different personalities tried to live together. Critics liked Eden's charm, warmth, and presence on stage, saying that she brought both humor and emotional depth to the character. The show went on tour all over the place, from big cities to little communities. It introduced a new generation of theatergoers to Eden's talent outside of her famous TV career. Her role in the play showed how much she liked performing live and how popular she still was, indicating that she was still a popular and compelling entertainer long into the new millennium. Barbara Eden had another happy moment in her long and storied career in March 2006, when she met up with her old I Dream of Jeannie co-star Larry Hagman. The event was a very publicist press tour in New York City to promote the release of the first season DVD of I Dream of Jeannie, the iconic 1960-second sitcom that made both performers famous. There was more to the reunion than just a work event. It was a party to honor a relationship and artistic cooperation that had lasted for decades. Fans were overjoyed to see the two of them together again. Their appearances brought back memories of the magic, humor, and chemistry that made the original series so great. Eden and Hagman were on several popular TV shows, such as Good Morning America, The View, Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight, Martha, and Showbiz Tonight, to name a few. Fans got to see the two talk about their time on set, tell behind-the-scenes stories, and think about how the show had changed their lives and professions during each visit. Eden talked on how funny and imaginative Hagman was, while Hagman said how much he admired Eden's professionalism and grace. Their conversations were full of love and humor, just like they were on screen decades ago, which is what made them so popular. Eden also wrote a book called Jeannie Out of the Bottle, which came out in 2011 and became a New York Times bestseller. She honestly talked about her Hollywood job, her personal life, and her private problems in it. People liked the memoir because it was honest and loving, which gave them a better idea of who the famed Jeannie was. Barbara Eden's love life and marriages show as much about her strength and passion as her famous Hollywood career. Every relationship she had showed how she had changed as a person and as a professional over time. From the difficulties of being famous to the peace and camaraderie she found in the end. In 1958, she married actor Michael and Sarah for the first time, and Sarah, a distinguished actor of Syrian heritage, was already well known for his work on television in Broken Arrow and later Star Trek. They met when both were very committed to their jobs. But they had a lot in common because they both loved acting and understood how hard the entertainment business was. Barbara, who became famous in the late 1950s, found a companion in Sarah who helped her reach her goals. At the time, their marriage was one of the most admired in Hollywood. A unique couple that appreciate each other and are passionate about art. And Sarah and Eden worked together from time to time. And Sarah even guest starred on the hit show I Dream of Jeannie, which made Eden a household name throughout the world. But being famous may also be bad. Barbara became quite famous in the 1960s, but the stress of being in the public eye, always filming, and trying to balance work and family life started to get to her. Matthew and Sarah, who were born in 1965, loved each other and were devoted to their son, but their relationship got worse with time. They got a divorce in 1974, after being married for 16 years. Barbara was quite sad about the breakup, and she constantly talked about how much she loved Michael even after they broke up. Barbara later said that he was one of the sweetest and most honorable men she had ever encountered. Their admiration for each other never faded. Barbara married Charles Fagert, an executive at a Chicago newspaper who had previously worked as a marketing and advertising executive for the Chicago Sun-Times. In 1977, 3 years after her divorce. This marriage was a big change for her. It took her away from the constant attention of Hollywood and into a more normal relationship. Fagert was charming, successful, and had a lot of charisma, so their relationship started off well. Barbara liked how smart he was about business, and how he made her laugh. He liked how warm, graceful, and beautiful she was. But as time went on, they started to show disparities in how they lived and how they acted. Barbara, who was usually disciplined and focused on her job, had a hard time getting adjusted to Charles's social life and the stress that came with it. The couple got a divorce in 1982. Even though the split was hard, Barbara exhibited her usual strength by focusing on her health, job, and happiness. For You, Barbara discovered love again after being alone for almost 10 years and working steadily in television, cinema, and on stage. She married John Eicholtz, a successful architect and real estate developer, in 1991. Barbara felt at ease, stable, and supported in this marriage, unlike in her past partnerships. Eicholtz, a calm and contemplative guy, liked Barbara not only for her lasting beauty and fame, but also for her intelligence, sense of humor, and kindness. They worked together to create a solid and harmonious connection based on shared values and respect for each other. People have seen the two of them together at charity events, movie premieres, and social gatherings. They always seem warm and elegant. Barbara has said in interviews that this connection gave her the peace and contentment she had been looking for a long time. Barbara Eden, who is 94 years old and is most known for her performance as Jeannie in I Dream of Jeannie, has finally talked about Larry Hagman, the man who shared the screen with her for 5 amazing years. They were one of the most popular pairs on TV, and their chemistry lit up screens all over the US in the 1960s. There was a lot of love and respect between Jeannie and Major Nelson, but there was also some conflict. Barbara is now in her golden years and is ready to speak the truth about what it was like to work with Hagman. The good, the bad, and the very human. Barbara starts by saying Larry was a genius, her voice full of nostalgia. He had the spark that kept every scenario from being boring. It was interesting to watch him, since you never knew what he would do next. She remembers how Hagman's imagination made the show more interesting and spontaneous, converting I Dream of Jeannie from a simple sitcom into something extraordinary. But that same energy could be unstable. He was also pretty intense. Larry didn't just do things. He was there for every second of the scene. She goes on, that passion could make things hard at times, but it also made him great. Barbara says that Hagman's off-screen behavior was just as interesting as his on-screen performances. She laughs and says, Larry could be wild. He enjoyed life and didn't mind breaking the rules. He had a charisma that was bigger than life and could make a room light up or shake it up. She remembers how Hagman often had problems with network officials because he was unhappy with the show's constraints and the severe censoring of the time. He wanted to be able to be more creative. Barbara feels he was ahead of his time. People didn't always get what he was saying, but I did. I could see the artist through the mess. Still, their friendship lasted through the good and bad times. She says we were like siblings. We might fight one minute and laugh the next, but we always respected one another. Barbara remembers that Hagman always made her laugh, even when he was in a bad mood or angry. He had a funny sense of humor that was a little naughty. He would sometimes play tricks on the set to lighten the mood. I suppose that was his way of making things less serious in a profession that can be very serious. Barbara admits she wasn't surprised when Hagman became quite famous as J.R.B. Ewing on Dallas. Larry was supposed to be a celebrity. That part was perfect for him. She grins. People saw the charming bad guy, but I saw the heart underneath. He might be nasty, but he was also quite nice and loyal to his friends. She says that they stayed close for decades after I Dream of Jeannie ended, often writing letters, calling each other, and talking about the good old days. Barbara replies gently, we had a history that only the two of us could really understand. When you work with someone for a long time, you become part of their story. Barbara's eyes shine with grief as she remembers his death in 2012. She says that losing Larry was like losing a part of her own past. We went through so much together, the early mornings, the laughter, the stress, and the happiness of making something that changed so many lives. I think about him every day. Barbara says she still feels his presence, even though it's been decades since they worked together on Jeannie. I sometimes smile at something he did that I forgot about when I see a rerun. He had this magic that never goes away. Barbara says she has no regrets now that she looks back. Only thanks. What we made together makes me proud. She says, we made millions of people happy. Not everyone gets to do that in their lives. She stops for a moment before saying with a sad smile, I'd thank Larry for the laughs, the teachings, and for being who he was. If he were here today, Barbara Eden knows more about Larry Hagman than just his strange habits and temperamental genius. It's about his humanity. Larry wasn't flawless. She says that none of us are, but he was a real person. He put everything he had into his work, his friends, and life in general. That was what made him so memorable. Barbara thinks about her career, which lasted more than 7 decades. She knows that the magic she and Hagman made will continue on, forever, bottled up in the hearts of those who still believe in the power of a wish and the charm of a genie who loved her.